Hello, how are you? Today I'm going to prepare my homemade natural yogurt recipe for you. You will only need 2 ingredients and a pot. No need for any special equipment, no need for very expensive ingredients. You will love it because you will never need to buy industrial yogurt again, and you will make your own yogurt at home knowing the origin of the ingredients, what you put in it, which is super important. It's very easy, there's really no mystery, and I'll give you some tips to make the recipe even tastier. Stay until the end, you won't want to miss it. If you love easy, quick, and healthy recipes, you will love the channel. So take advantage, subscribe, and remember to activate the bell to receive notifications. I have new videos every day, you will love them. Let's start our recipe, remembering that there are only 2 ingredients, but the correct proportions are down here in the description and in the first pinned comment. And if you like these basic recipes like this for the kitchen, of things that are interesting for us to learn to make, to have in our daily lives, spend less money on shopping, and be healthier, give it a like and I'll come back and make more videos here. Because I have other really cool videos like white cheese, which is very easy. I have a video teaching how to make bologna at home, how to make homemade sausage, all healthy, all natural, cheaper. I have a video teaching how to make plant-based milks. There are some videos on basic kitchen ingredients, which are really cool. I didn't have this yogurt one yet, so I decided to make it because I always say I have the recipe, but I wanted to make it here for you because it's really very easy, very simple to make. So let's get started. The first thing we need is milk. So a tip I give you is that I'm going to use whole milk here because I want it to have a slightly thicker consistency. It doesn't necessarily have to be whole milk. If you have any restrictions and need to use skim milk, use the milk you are accustomed to using. Cow's milk, or it can be goat's milk, it can be from the animal you are used to consuming, but it will have to be animal milk in this case. If you want to know about plant-based milks, I have a playlist of plant-based milks here. That's another story. And if you want me to make a plant-based yogurt later, leave a comment for me and I'll prepare one that's really easy, tasty, and healthy. But for this recipe here, it's animal milk indeed. I'm using whole cow's milk. If you want to use skim milk, as I mentioned, you can do it, but the consistency of the yogurt will be a bit thinner, which isn't entirely bad. It's really a matter of what you're used to and what your needs are regarding your health. Everyone has their own preferences and needs. So what I'm going to do here now is heat this milk over medium heat. Let me lower it here until the milk starts to form bubbles on the side. The milk won't boil, but I want it to slightly increase in temperature, and then we'll have to wait for it to cool down a bit. No thermometer is needed for any of this. Keep an eye on it because when milk boils, it makes a mess in the kitchen. So stay next to your milk pot or pan and keep watching. When those bubbles start to appear, I'll turn off the heat and then I'll tell you what we do next. Hold on, I'll be right back. Look, occasionally I come here and give it a stir so the milk doesn't stick to the bottom and also to prevent the cream from forming. Because whole milk has that cream that sometimes separates from the milk, so I come here from time to time and give it a stir to keep everything in order. You can see that steam is coming out, so the milk is already getting quite hot. I'm going to turn off the heat here and now I'll wait because I need this milk to reach that baby bath temperature. In other words, you have to stick your finger in here and count to 10 seconds, enduring it without burning yourself. So we wait here now until the milk cools down a bit. No need for a thermometer or anything like that. So wait a little while and I'll be right back. Look, so the milk has cooled down a bit. Come closer and I'll show you how you can do it at home to check if your milk is at the right temperature. Look, I had already removed my burner here because obviously I won't need the flame anymore. So you're going to put your pinky finger right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You could even keep it there longer or even longer if you prefer. We usually do this with baby water for added safety, so you can do it like this too. I have here the other ingredient I will need, which is plain unsweetened yogurt. It can be skimmed, it can be whole. I'm also using whole here to keep with the same theme. So you only need to buy the yogurt once, then you never need to buy it again, but you will need some type of culture to make the yogurt. I'm going to pour a little of the milk here to start incorporating it gradually, allowing its temperature to rise because it was in the fridge. So I'll mix it here to make it easier to blend later. This yogurt that we usually purchase, which contains only 2 simple ingredients, namely just milk and lactic ferment, is essentially a dormant yet active culture of the same kind of beneficial yeasts and bacteria. Therefore, we will need to carefully add this to our milk and mix it thoroughly so that it can effectively make the yogurt. Any type of yogurt or fermented milk you want to make, you need to have a starter culture. I have already made a video here on the channel showing how to make kefir. In the case of kefir, you also need a starter culture, for instance, the grains. And in the case of yogurt, you will either use this store-bought packaged yogurt you previously purchased before, or you buy the sachets of lactic ferment to make this mixture here. And now we have to wait for it to ferment, really, because it's a type of fermentation. So I'm going to get a ladle to transfer it here to my jar, and I'll tell you more details about it. So I got the ladle because if I pour all of this here, it will make a mess. If you do it in a milk pot, it's more practical for you. You just pour it here. It's important for you to understand that you will need to have a starter culture to make these fermented milks, just like I did with the kefir in the other video. And now we will have to wait for this yeast to wake up and ferment the milk. And that's why I mentioned at the beginning that to make yogurt, you need animal milk because you need the lactose that's in here, as it will be the food for this yeast. And it will digest part of this lactose, the sugars naturally present in the milk, and will form that consistency that we know from natural yogurt. I will just leave this covered right now. I will finish filling it here. I will leave it covered, and you have a few options. If where you live is a more temperate or warmer place, you can simply cover it safely, put it in a securely covered container like I'm going to do here. I'll show you better. And you can leave it inside a cabinet or even a drawer, somewhere similar to that if you live in a warmer city. If you don't live in a city that is that warm, not where you are watching the video and so on, there are some tips you can follow. When I make yogurt, I like to cover it. You can cover it, there's no problem at all. And I cover it in a container that is even hermetically sealed to prevent insects or anything like that from getting in. And then ideally you should place it in a dark, closed place. Like I mentioned, it can be inside a cabinet, somewhere like that. Or you can do the following. You can take a cloth like a dish towel and wrap it around the container here. I made a bit of a mess here, so I'll clean it before wrapping. You can wrap it around the container, tie a knot on top to insulate it to keep that warmth in, and then you place it in a warmer spot. Some people put it inside the oven, always cold of course, because we can't expose this mixture to high temperatures, nor could it be super hot before adding the yogurt, because if the temperature is too high, it will kill the probiotics and it won't turn into yogurt at all. So I'm going to clean up here and show you how to tie it so you can understand. Come here. So I already have my milk prepared here with the yogurt at the right temperature. I'm going to tie a knot here on top, but it's just a knot to keep it closed, and another one here as well. And here, if you want at this moment to take this to the cold, turned off oven, you can. Be careful that no one forgets there's yogurt in there and turns it on. Normally, we leave this from night to day, so I will come back here tomorrow and leave it overnight, and I'll show you how the yogurt turned out. And then I'll give you some ideas on how to serve it, ideas on how to enhance it, and I'll give you a tip so you never have to buy yogurt again in your life. So hold on, because in a little while, tomorrow in this case, I'll come back with it ready and give you those other tips. So coming back here with our yogurt, which I made yesterday for you, recapping, mine ended up staying for about 7 hours and I left it inside the oven. I heated the oven just a little for about 10 minutes just to make it warmer, turned off the oven and then put it inside. So I waited the 7 hours, and after that I put it in the fridge to let it rest there, and now I'm going to show you how it turned out. Come here so I can show you better how it looks, and I'll show you the consistency with our spoon so you can better understand the perfect yogurt consistency. Look at this. See how perfect it is. Make it at home and you'll love it and won't need to buy industrialized yogurt ever again. I'm going to serve it now so we can taste it to try our yogurt. Look at the consistency. It's really good. And remember, if you want, you can add a bit of honey to eat with it. If you like sugar, use brown sugar, demerara, or you can blend it with a fruit like a banana, a strawberry. Tell me here, how are you going to consume this yogurt? How do you usually consume it in your daily life? I'm going to prepare my yogurt cup here and try it right away. Look, I'm going to add some fruits, a bit of banana on top to eat with my yogurt. If you want, you can also add another fruit like I mentioned, and I'm going to add a bit of honey. Of course, this is optional. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And remember, since this yogurt here is without sugar, without sweeteners, without anything, it's neutral. So if you also want to cook with it, it works really well. I'll show you now how its consistency looks on the spoon. Make it at home. Everyone will love it. Tell me down below what you're going to eat this yogurt with. I'd love to see your comment. Take a look at other videos I have here preparing everyday foods. There's a playlist of plant-based milks, there's a coconut plant-based yogurt, there's peanut butter, and several such everyday recipes that help save money and eat healthier. I'll leave these videos down here for you. I would love to see your comment on how you're going to eat this recipe. Remember to give it a like because that also helps me, and share it with those who will enjoy it, with those who need it. Let's together expand this chain of good, which is what I want here with the channel. Let's taste it. I'm going to eat it plain right here now. The flavor is very mild. It's not sour. Actually, it's just a little sour. It's very pleasant, very mild. The whole family will like it. The kids, it's wonderful. Make it and you'll love it. See you next time.